Now, to continue with the 8 Heruka deities, the Kage of the Nyingma tradition, this is one of the really 3 main groupings of fearsome, wrathful meditational deities. The first is, of course, we can say is Guhyagarbha. The second is these 8 Heruka, and then after that are revealed treasure traditions, most often based on the Guhyagarbha or the 8 Heruka, the 8 Kage. So the 8 are divided into 2 groupings. The first 5 are considered wisdom deities, and the remaining 3 are considered worldly, with some affiliation to a deity, possibly, or not, such as an emanation of Vajrasattva. And so it is stated in some texts. Now, the first 5 are what's important. The last 3 are really not. In art, they only show up within sets of paintings of the 8 Heruka, or they only show up as secondary figures in a single composition. And the really important ones are Yamari, which is based on Manjushri, this Manjushri Jampal Ku in Tibetan, and represents the body. Then Hayagriva represents the speech. Shri Heruka, which represents mind. Vajramrita, which represents qualities. And Vajrakila, which represents activities. Actually, these are reversed. Activity goes before... qualities is before activity. My mistake. Now, of these 5, the Shri Heruka, which is also known as Shri Vishuddha Heruka, otherwise in Tibetan Yangdak Tuk represents mind. Tuk is the mind in Tibetan. And then Vajramrita, which is Dorje Dutsi, also related to Dutsi Kilwa. Vajramrita, Amrita Kundalan also is related. These 2 are actually not so important and are not well represented in art. Again, they are only found within sets of the 8 Heruka, or revealed treasure tradition sets, or as secondary figures in later Terma revealed treasure traditions. The important ones that we find that continue on or have related deities are the Vajrakila, the Hayagriva, and the Yamari. So, and even the Yamari is not all that common. It's just more common than the Shri Heruka and the Vajramrita. But what's important about the Yamari is that it's related to Manjushri. The Hayagriva is related to Avalokiteshvara. Vajrakila is actually on its own, and it's related to Vajrasattva and Samantabhadra. Now, the Hayagriva of the 8 Heruka in the earliest depictions is different than what we find as a 3-faced, 6-armed Heruka, such as in the Sera, the special Sera monastery tradition. So it's different. The Yamari can be different. The Yamari in the earliest texts of the Kage of the 8 Heruka is different in hand attributes than the later revealed treasure Yamari, and the Vajrakila as well. The earliest Vajrakilas do not appear the same. The later Vajrakilas, what we're familiar with generally in art, is with the deity holding a peg between the 2 hands at the chest, and then a 9-pronged Vajra, and then a 5-pronged Vajra in the 2 other right hands. Then a handful of fire flame in one left hand and a katvanga in the other. Now, this arrangement can be very different in the earliest of the Vajrakilaya, and the earliest of the Vajrakilaya should actually be coming out of the 8 pronouncement, 8 Heruka deities. So there's a lot of questions and issues as to how the iconography has developed textually and artistically from at least from the from the 12th century up to the present, because that's really the only art we have, is from roughly that time period. So we'll take this up again later. In the meantime, press the like button. You can subscribe. You can join HAR on Patreon. And most importantly, you can make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.